Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Punting Green, brought to you by oddschecker and priced-up.bet. This is your Travellers Championship preview. I'm your host, George Elek, and delighted to be joined as ever by Ginger Joe. Joe, it was an interesting weekend in the US Open, just gone for, I don't know, let's say like 3.5 days. It wasn't a classic in terms of major tournaments.
Yeah,
And I think the back nine was probably one of the most enjoyable viewing spectacles in a major, well, at least since Roy's Masters just a couple of months ago. How did you find it?
yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, I did enjoy all 4 days, I must admit. But like you said, there wasn't a lot of life at the top end of the leaderboard. We didn't really sort of know what direction the tournament was going to go until sort of the final day. But no, I really enjoyed that. We had an average week. We sort of clawed a little bit back. We had 2 points each way on John Rahm, who finished tied eighth. Fortunately, obviously, priced up were paying us 10 places, so we managed to pick up a little bit from there. I also put up a little bit of a tricksy for us. So we had the singles on Tyrrell Hatton to be top Englishman at 9-2, Adam Scott to be top odds at 4-1, and then Benny Arn just let us down there for the treble. That would have been a nice
Mm.
result for us. So even though the squad didn't go as planned, we did pick up some money on some of the side markets, and we did get a little bit of profit off John Rahm at the end of the day too. So no, it was a good tournament, but we had some big names miss the cut, George, didn't we? We had
Yeah.
DeChambeau, Lowry, Aberg, Clark, Fleetwood, Straka, Neiman, JT. It was really obscene, really, wasn't it? We only had one player finish under par. Oh, it was brilliant, brilliant fun.
Yeah, it was. It was. I managed to bet Sam Burns before the tournament started,
Yeah,
who was
yeah.
trading 1.5 at the turn and missed a very short putt on 14, and then obviously didn't get that drop and ended up only getting part of my place money, top eight with him. I packed Cameron Young before the tournament started, who finished, I think, tied for fourth. I
Mm.
backed Victor Hovland and Bob
Oh,
McIntyre on Friday morning after round one, who finished second and fourth. So I had them covered, but JJ Spawn
yes.
made my. I mean, it was amazing watching it. To be fair, like I think his shot in 17, I think it's up there with one of the best shots I think I've ever
Yeah.
seen in a major tournament, given what was at
Uh,
stake. And his part on 18, like it may not be an iconic winner in terms of the profile of the champion, but I think in terms of the moments it provided, phenomenal on Sunday evening.
Yeah, he deserved it as well, to be honest, because he has been playing really good golf all year long, and he's a very steady player, wasn't he? We discussed last week you want to play that sort of limits damage, doesn't do too much wrong. I mean, well,
Mm.
JJ Spawn is exactly that player last week. He doesn't sort of go shaping his irons too much. He doesn't go hitting these big slinging draws, fairways, greens, putt was his plan, and it got the job done for him at the end of the day as well. You said that you backed Victor Hovland. George, he is so close to finding his game again. I don't fancy many of the top 10 this week, but I tell you what, he is probably the one. He is millimeters off hitting top form. So we are going to steam into him in the next couple of weeks, that's for sure. Um,
Exciting, exciting. Let's get on to the Travellers then.
yes,
And
yes,
it's always the case after a major tournament where the interest
yes,
maybe drops away for some, but TPC River Highlands. What can you tell us
yes.
about the test that this will provide this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely, George. Completely different, like you said, to the US Open last week. We've got a par 70 over just 6,844 yards. So a really short golf course to sort of look at this week. It is really forgiving off the tee as well. You can cause a little bit of trouble, but you're going to have to be quite wayward if you're going to be struggling off the tee. It is forgiving enough. So I'm not putting any emphasis on tee shots this week. This is all about approach and putting, your typical target golf course. Small greens, but they're really flat. They're not overly quick. So I'd expect a pretty low score around here. A good iron player and a good putter is going to mop up birdies. We only had three players finish over par here last year as well. I know Scotty Scheffler won in the playoff with Tom Kim. He's going to have an obvious chance again. But I don't really like too many at the front of the market for this week. We've only got 72 to go to post. And that actually gives us a lot of value further down the market. If you take a look at the front sections, we've got Schauffele, McIlroy. We've got a lot of players that aren't really hitting top form. Colin Morikawa. I don't see much value in their prices. But at this golf course where we want a good approach player and somebody who puts well, there are a lot of players further down the market that can get competitive this week.
Great stuff. Let's go through the field then. Scotty Scheffler, who kind of threatened to threaten on Sunday. He had a couple of putts around the turn which lipped out, and I think if those had dropped, he probably would have had something to say in the back nine at Oakmont. But he's the 14-5 favourite. Rory McIlroy, who showed some signs, I guess, at points, but also showed some pretty worrying signs both on the golf course and in his demeanour, both on and off the course. He's 11-1 second favourite. Xander Schauffele 12-1. Colin Morikawa 18-1. Patrick Cantlay 22-1. Justin Thomas 25-1. Ludwig Oberg 25-1. Victor Hovland 30-1. Tommy Fleetwood 30-1. Keegan Bradley 35-1. Sam Burns and Sepp Straka both 35-1 as well. That makes up the top 12 in the market. Any of those in the staking plan, I should say, priced up paying 5 places a quarter of the odds.
No, none this week. Like I said, the only players out of that top section that I keep on side currently is Victor Hovland because he's really close to finding his game. Sepp Straka didn't go to plan for him last week. He could play well this week too, but there's no real value at the top of the market. Like you said, worrying signs for Rory McIlroy. He's just come off winning, the career Grand Slam, and suddenly he looks like he doesn't want to be on the golf course. It's a real strange move, especially with the fact that we've got Royal Portrush coming up in the near future as well. A major that's going to be very close to his heart, close to his home too. Scotty Scheffler not really playing the golf where you want to get stuck in at 3-1. He can of course bounce back, but where's the value at the top end of the market, George? To be honest with you, it's a struggle this week.
It is right. How many players are you putting up in your squad?
So I have a 5-man squad, but it consists of 3 main players, one that scrapes in, and then a long shot as well. A very, very long shot as well. I think it could make a strong case for him this week too.
Great stuff. Who's the headline selection in the
The
Travellers?
headline selection is going to be world number 31, Nick Taylor at 60-1 with Price. He's a 5-time PGA Tour winner, and he's won some pretty big events too. He broke his maiden all the way back in 2015 winning an ordinary event. But since then, in 2020, he won the AT&T at Pebble Beach. The 2023, he then won his home open, the RBC Canadian. He then won the 2024 Phoenix Open last year. This year, he's won the Sony Open. And the last 3 of those wins have actually all come by playoff as well. He's a really, really clutch player. Not only winning, but he's really consistent with it too. He's made 14 of his 17 starts this year, so he's made plenty of cuts. And then he's got the stats that you want to back up his sort of game plan as well. He's a really good iron player. He's 12th on strokes gained with his approach. He's 8th on green and regulation percentage. But not only that, his proximity is 25th. So he's hitting the ball nice and close. And like I said, we don't have big greens this week. You want a nice, consistent iron player. Nick Taylor ticks those boxes. He's a real momentum player as well because he putts pretty good when he's playing well. There's a lot to like about Nick Taylor this week at 60-1. He's been really well supported already. I am aware he was nearly 100-1 at the beginning of the week, and that was obscene. So 60-1 now, still very big value.
I don't know where you've seen 60, but he's 90-1. So he's still
Well,
so it's good.
maybe I've read that wrong. I jumped on and grabbed the prices from Priced Up just before,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I've got that wrong.
He's
But there you go, 90-1. That's
90-1.
obscene for a player of his quality for this golf course.
Beautiful. Nick Taylor first up. Who's the second? And I'll tell you the price.
Number 2, yes, world number 34, Akshay Bhatia. I think
Akshay is 66-1.
there we go, 66-1. Plenty of value. A 2-time PGA Tour winner. With Akshay as well, it's just the case that he is so talented, and you couldn't find a better fit of a golf course for him this year than perhaps this week and the Zurich, which was a few weeks ago. Really good approach player who likes to move the ball left to right. Big secret weapon about Akshay Bhatia is his controlled spin. He can get loads of spin or he can stop it dead. Very, very handy on these small greens. He's 14th on putting total as well. So he is converting a lot of these chances. High birdie average. This is just everything that he wants. His target golf in the fairway to small flat greens. I'd be highly disappointed if his game didn't bring up a good score here. This is exactly what he wants. There's a few times that I put him up this season at courses that look to suit, but this is ideal for him. Target golf for Akshay Bhatia is where he scores. 66-1 is good value.
Lovely stuff. Akshay Bhatia, 66-1, the second selection for Joe here in the Travellers. Who's the third selection before we get on to the huge price?
We are going at Alex Noren at 110-1. This could be the week to back in. You might want to check that price for me, George. Just
Yeah, that's spot on. 110-1.
Wrong, but plays well at loads of different courses actually. But he always plays his best when you need a good requirement of iron play. from 125 yards to 175 yards in, and he's going to have that tons this week. Never really been good off the tee, Alex Noren, but like I said, it's not really a problem for me or something I put in a bit of emphasis on this week. He's just a really consistent iron player. He hits a fade from 5 to 10 yards. It enables him to compete at the top level because he's so consistent with it. And he is a prolific winner. He's a 10-time DP World Tour winner. There is definitely a PGA Tour title in him. He contends at courses where he shouldn't. This is much more like his game. And again, where a course that you can't really dominate by power or hitting sort of long irons into greens, this is accurate golf course. We need accurate players, accurate iron ball strikers. Alex Noren, your man, 110 to 1. Again, obscene for the type of golf course we're playing at this week.
Alex Noren, 110 to 1, the third main selection there. So Nick Taylor, 90 to 1, Akshay Bhatia, 66 to 1, and Alex Noren, 110 to 1 for Joe and the Travellers. Who is this? I'm excited. Who's the massive price one?
I've got one more before we get to him. Sorry,
Ah,
so I've got four
four-man
and the
squad.
big
That's all
one.
right.
Yeah,
I'm,
but so
I'm,
this
I'm
is
too excited.
Denny McCarthy, 80 to 1, George, I believe.
Denny is 80 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, he scrapes in the squad really this week. He is a maiden that will win sooner or later. We always talk about how good he is at putting, how good he is at chipping, but his iron play's actually got much better too as well. Very easy greens this week, very scoreable golf course, and he has come close to winning two tournaments of this sort of caliber previously. He was beaten in playoffs twice. He got beat last year in the Valero Texas Open by Akshay Bhatia, a fellow squad member this week, after shooting 9 under par in the final round just to get beat in a playoff. But where putting and price combined, he's very tempting at 80 to 1. He could put himself into contention this week. So nothing too fancy to say about Denny McCarthy, but his short game is excellent. He is going to win one of these events soon, and it will be something similar to the Travellers where you just want good iron play and a really good short game because he has that in abundance.
Great stuff. Who
Yes.
is that big price fancy? The bomb?
So the big price fancy is a PGA Tour winner. I think you can find him at 400 to 1 for
Adam
a fellow
Hadwin.
Mr. Adam Hadwin. World number
Seems a
103.
huge price.
It is. I genuinely believe he has a really good chance this week. He hasn't necessarily made a huge impact this year, but there are a lot of players in this tournament at much, much shorter in the market that offer much, much less when it comes to credentials. Correlating courses for this week, George, for me would be the Zurich, as I mentioned for Denny McCarthy, the Phoenix Open, and the Houston. And these are courses this year that he shot 22 under, 14 under, and 17 under par. He actually comes here as well after shooting 10 under par in the RBC Canadian Open with 67, 68, 65, 70. He's had a real tough run from the Truist Championship through to the Memorial. Those three tournaments didn't go to plan, but prior to that in the Zurich, he shot 66, 66, 65, 69. Seven of his last eight events have come. Seven of his last eight rounds on courses that require target golf. Seven of those have come in the 60s. He plays well when he should, and he probably doesn't feature in the events where you're not expecting him to. 400 to 1 for such a good iron player that has won on the PGA Tour. He won the 2017 Valspar. That is an obscene price, George. Even again, fifth of the odds here, you're getting 80 to 1 for him to finish in the places. He holds more credentials than most in the top 20 for this week. So, obscene price. 400 to 1 for Adam Hadwin. I'm really hoping that we can get a good result out of this week.
Love it. Adam Hadwin, 400 to 1 with priced up.bet is the big price selection in the fifth in the outright market for Joe. Joe, anything else that... Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to mention we've only got 72 going to post this week as well, and you're still getting the six places. So,
Yeah.
I feel like that value is again even enhanced on the base that we've only got a small field. So,
Five places, but yes, even so,
five
quarter to
places,
five
plenty.
rather than a
We'll go
fifth.
for that.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else for you in the other markets?
Yes, I'm becoming quite a fan of these top nationality markets. I've only got
Mm.
one in that market this week, and it is again top Englishman, Harry Hall at 4 to 1. A player that's been in my main squad quite often this year, and I've highlighted many times that he's really good with his approach play, and he's actually one of the best putters in the world currently too. He comes here against Tommy Fleetwood, who is 13 to 8. He likes to hit a big sling and draw, not good for small spinny greens. Aaron Rye, he sort of lost his way. Matty Fitz has sort of lost his way too. So Harry Hall's the informed player here at 4 to 1. I think he will be a decent bet for the top English man.
Love it. Harry Hall, 4-1 for top English. They were priced up. So 4-1 Harry Hall, top English. Nick Taylor, 90-1. Akshay Bhatia, 66-1. Alex Noren, 110-1. Denny McCarthy, 80-1. And Adam Hadwin, 400-1. Great stuff. We will be back again next week for another preview of the Punting Green. Thank you very much to Joe. And we will see you then. Enjoy the weekend's golf. And please ensure you're gambling responsibly. If you haven't already got a Price Up account, make sure you go and get one. Really good stuff there. Competitive prices, boosts across sport the whole time. So check it out, sign up for an account, and we will see you again next week.